Hi everyone, I'm Kiwi Kitty and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. Today is going to be another day of planning. Planner content isn't going to be the only thing I do on this channel, but since my last video was about a month ago and planning is part of my process, I decided to go ahead and share a review of how September went for me. I'll be posting another video on Monday with my plan for October, and in that video we'll also cover what other content you'll see from me on this channel. You may notice throughout the video that I was struggling a bit with my voice and some serious congestion. I did my best to clean up the audio as much as possible of sniffles and sneezes, but I was feeling pretty sick the last week or two and parts of the video may seem choppy. I couldn't get rid of everything because then I would have to scrap all of the audio. My apologies for that. About 15 minutes in, I will be adding in an additional little snippet with this same background for a little bit of a breakup in between and to give you guys some additional information. Until then, let's go back to past me with the recording and see what we have for you guys for the week. Have fun!
These two I bought in August this year, and they are my quarter four books for this is for personal, this is life and household things and everyday stuff, and then this one is for work. This one is Ottergami brand, and this one is, I'm not sure what brand this is. I might have covered it up. I can't think of what brand this is. I'm gonna have to check later. I'll put links for both of these in my description. I can't promise they'll be functional links because YouTube's still giving me trouble with that. But I will put links for these. If you like them, you can get them. This one, if you look at the back, that's what it's supposed to look like. My cat decided that this made a nice scratching post one day, and I could not convince her otherwise. So let's start with the, I do want to say that if you buy this one, it's not going to look exactly like this. The leaves that are shiny on the tree, I did that. I used a metallic gold pen to make them shiny. So if you get it, the leaves will be the same color as the tree trunk here. I want to start by looking over what I did for September in both of these books, and then we will go into planning for October, because today is September 24th that I'm recording this. So you will see that September was a very rough month for me. Now, before I get into it and before anybody asks in the comments, I said that these were my quarter four books, and you might be thinking, if you started them in September and you're splitting your year into quarters, what's going on there? Because September, October, November, December, that's a whole third of the year. I split my year up by season, by which I mean, for me, quarter one is December, January, February, and then quarter two is March, April, May. Quarter three is June, July, and August, and quarter four is September, October, and November. So technically speaking, my new year is December 1st. That might be a little bit confusing, but I do know other planner content creators on here that do something kind of similar. So I'm hoping it won't be too confusing for anybody who's here for the planner stuff. Anyways, this is my work one. I got my work name on here. This is for content creation. So I got Kiwi Kitty. It's my content planner for quarter four 2024. Now, when I first started setting this up, I did mark in my with my little bookmarks here. It comes with 2 silk bookmarks where I expected each month to be divided. So I want to give myself, space for that. That's actually going to be a little bit different because I have all of this space left for September because I haven't recorded anything for the last week. And I think I actually missed another week earlier. Maybe. Let me see. 1st through 7th. And yeah, I did 1st through 7th, 10th through 14th. So I skipped 2 days. And then this one I only did 16th and 17th. So we are all over the place. I'm working on it. It's a process. Anyways, I have a guide for myself here. This just shows me how to break down my pages if I'm dividing them. So I have thirds, halves, quarters, thirds, halves, quarters, and then I also have where I would break things down into 7s for my weekly things. I've got my we'll call it a future log. It's intended to be sort of similar to a future log. It has, I wrote this up when it was still August, so it has my planned stuff for September, October, and November, and then here's my little guide for what the colors on each day actually stand for. I'm not entirely sure about this. Obviously it's locked in for this quarter. I'm thinking I'll probably do it in a similar but different way for next year. I wrote up my content creation goals over here. I have 3 goals. Follow a consistent posting schedule. We're already failing on that. I still have 2 months to figure it out though, so it's fine. Reach 5,000 followers across all platforms used. So that's if I were to add up my following on all of the platforms that I'm on, it would total 5,000. Instead, I didn't want to do, reach 5,000 on every single platform because I felt like that was a little too unrealistic for what I'm doing. And then goal 3 is to establish my creative voice, which again is something that I'm still working on. This little section here is for milestones that I reach as I reach them. This page is for content types. I should clarify, the first few pages are for the whole quarter, and then I break it into the monthlies. So these are pages that I won't be repeating for October. So this is my content types page. I'm not entirely sure about this. Some of these things I just kind of threw onto the page and said, screw it. It'll make sense later. This is my... Ooh, this one's fun. This one's my tracker for all my... Well, not all my different platforms. I picked my 4 major platforms. And then I'm tracking either my income or my following for each of those. So, for example, at the start of September, I was pulling in 77 cents on Patreon, 5 subscribers on YouTube. I had 87 Twitter followers. I had no income on Ko-fi. I had 1,008 members on my fandom Discord. 19 followers on my primary Tumblr. 6 followers on my mental health Tumblr. And 79 followers on my Facebook page. Now, on the last day of September, I'll fill in what all the ending numbers were for those, and then I'll put those into the first day of October as well. I've got content ideas, product ideas, perks for my patrons. My current perks are membership to the sticker club, which I slacked on really hard this month, and I apologize for that to anybody who was looking forward to seeing what I was going to do for that for this month. On the plus side, I don't actually have any paid patrons, so nobody's missing out on what they paid for. For the higher tier, I have merch boxes. And then I have access to my digital content, so cookbooks, planners, and stickers, recipes, patterns, and templates. I have a special, I actually already designed this is ready to go, a Sticker Club VIP member card. That is for the first 100 patrons. I'll throw up a shot of what the card looks like somewhere around here. And then I also have patrons can participate in polls and get sketches. Over here, I put free downloads and printables, but then I added a column for how much I was charging. Most of them are free. Most of my printables, well, I shouldn't say most of my printables, but most of the ones that I've listed here are the free printables. I do have paid ones that go up to $5. $5 for like a longer file with many pages. Free for a single page, and then $1 for shorter files that only go up to like 10 pages tops. The longer ones, the ones that are $5, are usually like between 25 and 50 pages. Basically, if it's 25 pages or more, I put it at $5. Just because it's a digital download, it's not something that I print out and send to you. I sound very sick anyways. This looks like it should be the VIP card. It's not. This was my first iteration, I guess. My first idea. I don't like how cluttered it is, so I redesigned it. This is a list of my Pinterest posts to be made. I put little dots next to the ones. Can you see it? There we go. I put little dots next to the ones that I actually have put on Pinterest, and then I have some other things that have to still go up. And now we're getting into, this is the actual September plan. None of this went as planned. I had a plan for every single day for my mental health blog. I did 4 of them. I had a plan for every Friday for here on YouTube. I did none of these. I had plans for twice a week for Patreon and Ko-fi. Didn't do any of those. On my Discord events, I am doing pretty good so far. But it's not going quite as well as I wanted it to. Here is my calendar for this month, and as you can see, I have not checked in with this book since the 17th. As you may recall, I said today was the 24th. It's been a week since I've checked in on my workbook. So that's a little embarrassing. This is my September dashboard. I don't like it. It was a cute idea that I had to have basically a little Dutch door for every platform where I post. And then on each one I put, what my planned posts were going to be. But it didn't help me stay accountable. It was, I feel like, just extra work to keep up with. And it didn't work for me. So for October, I'm not going to bring this back. I'm going to do something different for October. And then we get into my daily stuff. I started out strong. September 1st, I checked off everything. September 2nd, I pretty much fell off right away. I'm not checking anything off for these pages. Not checking anything off. I didn't even do my weekly reflection for the first week. Clearly, this system. This is for one of the zines that I'm working on. I did a staging plan for photos. Clearly, this is not a good system for me. So, that's something I'm going to be working on today in this video, is figuring out an alternate plan for October to help me stay accountable and help me stay more consistent. And I will give myself a couple more pages. It's the 24th today. So if we look at my lovely little calendar, I've got 6 days left in this month. So I'm going to give myself probably give myself these pages, and then I'll write my I'll use this page for my monthly review for myself, and then starting here I'm going to mark this page with a little dot on the corner so that we know we're starting October here. And that'll get covered up by decoration, so it won't matter. But this is where I'll start planning for October after we get through all of this. So that's the workbook.
Hi again. It's Future Kiwi cutting in for just a moment. We'll get to the other book shortly. I just wanted to give Pass Me a Breather and let you all know that you can find links to my journals in the description below. Those links are Amazon affiliate links, so I'll get a small commission if you buy them. You can also find links to all the social media I mentioned down there as well as one for my printables on Ko-fi. Thanks, and let's go ahead and pop back into it before you get bored of this background.
This is my everyday book, and this one's going much better. I think you can probably tell. Now, as you can see, I have some in the front and some in the back. We'll get into that. So here is my cover page for this. I did make myself a little pocket here. Little pocket. I haven't used it for anything. I can't remember what I was planning to put in there. I think I wanted to have a measuring guide, like at the front of this book. I wanted to have a measuring guide that I could pull out, but I decided not to do that. And I don't really have any other ideas for what to stick in there. But I'm going to keep it. I mean, it's already there. So here is my cover page for quarter 4. And this is a cute little, what is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be like, those wire racks that people sometimes have at their artist alley, and they like use clips to pin things to it. That was kind of the design idea here. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see the lines where things are clipped, and then I've got this grid tape to sort of indicate it being, tacked on there. I thought it was fun. It was fun to do. I have my symbols. These are not necessarily the traditional bullet journal symbols. Empty box for my tasks, a diagonal slash for the things that I've started, an X for anything that I canceled or didn't finish, and filled in the square for done. And then I have a little pointy arrow to say that the task wasn't done that day but was migrated to a different day. And then I have my colors I've read, oh, wow. I did not stay consistent with this. I marked red for work, blue for mental health, yellow for household, green for finances, pink for social, purple for fun, and this sort of darker pink for physical health. I stuck to none of that, I don't think. I think I completely forgot about it, actually. I have so many different things in here that are broken down by color codes that having just one single color code doesn't work. I think that was the problem. So I might tape over that, or I don't know, figure something out. Um, I have my reflections from August, my wins, struggles, my needs and wants. I didn't write down anything for my memories. And then I put down for what's next, I put building a new routine, and I'm still working on that. I'm getting there. Here is my sort of look ahead page. I have all the numbered dates, all the days, and then I didn't fill any of it in because mostly because I didn't have any plans for September. I was really just kind of winging a lot of what was going on. Now you may notice that aside from this cover page, I just jumped right into the month. Whereas in the workbook, I had a whole section of stuff before I jumped into the month. That is why I have all this stuff in the back that we'll look at afterwards. So, if I could turn the page, this is my building healthy routines. You could also call it, you could call it a habit tracker. I have this little guide for myself, and I picked 6 habits, basically. My morning routine, an evening reset, no takeout, cleaning checklist, time outside, and body movement. I marked down the sections here, 1st through 30th, for recording those. And then I also gave myself a high bar and a low bar indicator for if I do the low bar, I mark L. If I do the high bar, I mark high. If I don't do anything at all, I don't mark anything at all. It has been super inconsistent. The only one that I've been able to consistently mark every day is the no takeout one. And then to kind of help myself with this, I put down what my morning routine is, what my evening reset is, a daily cleaning checklist, ideas for what to do outside, and ideas for low, medium, and high impact body movement activities. That's more just, it's less that like I don't know what to do outside or I don't know how to exercise. It's more of indicating if I do anything on these lists, it counts toward my high and low bar. So it just makes it a little bit easier to quantify my tracking. Here I have this weird Dutch door. The reason that this Dutch door is weird is because I didn't originally intend for it to be a Dutch door. I added this in afterward. Some people call these, I think, tip-ins. Basically, these are pages from a different book that I stuck in here. Because I had poor planning. That's really all it is. I had poor planning. But this is for my symptoms tracker. So I actually have a fun little... I have an intensity scale here. This is based on a more modern version of the pain scale that is used within the chronic health community. I just changed it to be from pain to symptom. So I basically just took pain out of the words. I have this available as a printable if you want it. It's actually very, very useful for anybody who deals with chronic pain, chronic illness, if you have mental health symptoms that you need to keep track of, that kind of thing. Here I have my list of symptoms that I'm tracking, and then here is the actual tracker, and you can see that, it's, for the most part, some of the symptoms that I wrote down actually haven't been bothering me all month. I wrote them down because I do have a history of struggling with them, but as you can see, this dark blue color means that I was not impacted by these symptoms at all. This brown section here is, as you see, it's from the 17th to the 21st. Last week, I had a really, really, really bad bout of depression. And I spent a lot of time sleeping. I could barely get out of bed. It was hitting me really, really hard last week, which is why there was nothing since the 17th in my workbook, and there's this gap from the 17th to the 21st here. I also have a period tracker because I have a uterus, and a mood tracker. You can see my long period of depression here. This is my depression color. Before this bout of depression, I was actually having some, they were up and down days. These 3 green squares are stress days. These 2 red squares were frustration days. I got these blue squares for when I was tired. I have a square of contentment, a square of motivation. I had these 2 hopeful squares at the beginning of the month. I haven't filled anything in for today yet. We'll see how it goes. I usually try to fill these in at the end of the day, just so that, especially for mood and symptoms, I don't want to fill them in at the beginning of the day, because what if at the beginning of the day I'm not feeling any of these, but then by the end of the day I have half of them. So same with the mood tracker. I kind of go by the overall mood for the day, and I think that that's working for me, so I'm going to keep doing it. And I mean, as you can see, I've been pretty good about tracking it. Aside from last week where I was having it really rough, I've been doing pretty good about keeping track. So, this is my time tracker, and you can actually see exactly when the depression hit me last week. It was on the 17th, around 3 a.m. I mean, I probably slept until around noonish that day, so probably it more hit me around noonish. But you can see on the 17th, I failed to track my time for several days after that, and that's kind of how I can tell that's where the depression really hit. My time tracker is broken up into these different tasks, I guess. Exercise. I have 1 whole hour of exercise this month. Social media void, which means that I was endlessly scrolling on Twitter or TikTok or whatever. I have quite a few of those. Cleaning and housework. I was pretty consistent with my cleaning and housework, getting in a couple of hours, a couple of times every day, up until the 12th, where I did 1 hour of housework at the end of the day, and then several days of nothing, no housework, and then 2 hours on the 16th, And then my depressive week where I wasn't tracking my time at all, so I have no idea what I got done. And I just picked up yesterday, but yesterday, yes, that's my sleep color. Purple is my sleep color. You can see that throughout the month I was pretty consistent with my sleep. Getting between 6 and 9 hours every day, with a couple of naps here and there. And then just yesterday, I crashed so hard. I fell asleep at about 8 a.m. yesterday, and I slept until midnight. I was out. I did some housework super early this morning, so that's why there's a color there for the 24th. Anyways, my cleaning and housework color was pretty consistent. My working color, this working is tasks for content creation. That's what these are. Reading, I almost always do. You can see the reading colors tend to be super early in the morning. That's because I have a delayed sleep schedule. So I sleep, these are my sleep hours typically between 4 a.m. and 12 p.m. In that range. So I read before bed, and so you can see almost all of my reading is before bed. And then I have a few days where I spent some extra time reading. My self-care color, I marked off these 2 days for self-care because I think this was a weekend. I got to a point on this day where I was like, I cannot function unless I take an intentional break. And there's a difference between not getting anything done and taking an intentional break. Especially if you're dealing with mental health problems like I am. Having time blocks where I'm just reading for hours, or I'm in a social media void for hours, those are not breaks. Those, typically for me, those are the result of executive dysfunction. Those are times where I have tasks that I know need to get done. And for whatever reason, my brain is not allowing me to do them. Whereas for these times that I've marked off as self-care, these are days where I sat myself down and I was like, okay, I'm going to intentionally take a break. I'm not going to think about the things that need to get done because they don't have to get done today, because today is my day off. And that, I think that what happened is that I waited too long to take those 2 days, where I waited too long to take the intentional breaks. And at this point, I felt the depression and I felt the overwhelm and the need for the break. But usually by the time I feel that it has to happen, it's too late. I do struggle to be able to read myself sometimes. But you can see pretty consistently up to this point, I was having a couple of hours of work every day. I was consistent with my housework. I was consistent with my sleep. Everything was going really good. I had a day where I didn't record anything for the day, and that's probably the day where I really started to feel it. I took these 2 intentional breaks as it was me trying to head it off, basically. Like, I felt it coming, I knew it was coming, and I was trying to stop it. And they did not work. You can see that after taking those 2 days of intentional break, I got work done. But that depression hit me like a truck. Setting up the time tracker, I set up the time tracker specifically for this reason, so that I could see if I was getting enough sleep, where I was losing time to mindless tasks. and to be able to start recognizing the patterns that would lead to these depression voids. So this month, what I did was basically go through the month as normal for me. So normal. I didn't make intentional decisions as far as work or housework or anything like that, which is partly why I wasn't super consistent with my workbook. I wanted to have September be a full month of my baseline. So I'm going to continue out the rest of the month the way that I've been going, just so that I have that full data set. And then starting in October, I'm going to be much more intentional with my time and see how that affects my mental health. So this is a really good idea for, if you want to do something like that, this is a really good idea. It is helping me understand myself a lot more than just not doing it at all. Obviously, you do have to be consistent with it. I checked in every couple of hours for that first 2 weeks. And that helps too. Pretty much every time that I shifted gears, I would check in. So I had this book on my table pretty much constantly. I still have this book on my table pretty much constantly. I think that at some point I would like to do a video just about the time tracking and the way that I do it and how it's been helping me. So this page was a terrible page. I had this idea in my head that I was gonna have a single transaction not so much that I was gonna have a single transaction every single day in my bank account, but that every day that I spent money, I was only gonna have one transaction. So like I have the 1st through the 30th listed here, and I realized pretty early on that this was not working out how I had intended it. It's a good idea. Obviously, I want to track my money coming in and out, but that format it was a bad format. And I have to account for that the next time that I do this. I don't know if I'm going to do this for October or not yet. As we go through, I'm thinking about which concepts I want to keep going into the next month. But I definitely need to revise this. Same for the savings one. It kind of limited me to, individual transactions per day, or like grouping all of my transactions for the day into a single line, which is also not a good idea. These were my September challenges for myself. The first one is an art challenge. It's 30 days of Bakudeku, which, if you are into fandom, you might recognize that is a ship name, a relationship name. I was able to get 3. I did day 1, day 2, day 3, and I have not done anything since then. I do still intend to finish this list. It's just not necessarily going to be an everyday kind of thing. What I might do is stick a marker, like a page marker in here, so that I don't lose track of it. And then throughout the rest of the quarter, I'll just come back to this. Same thing for this. This was my decluttering challenge for September. I did none of these. Not a single one. All month. This was supposed to be every day you do one thing on the list. You don't have to do it in order, but every day you do one thing on the list, and it's supposed to help with decluttering your home. I didn't do any of it. I want to. So it's probably going to be the same thing as with my art challenge. I'll just, I'll keep this spread marked, and then I'll refer back to it throughout the rest of the quarter. And then at the end of the quarter, we'll look at it and we'll see what I actually got done. Maybe I'll get more. Maybe I'll get none of it. Who knows? This is my level 10 life rating for September. As you can see, I am starting very, very low on my ratings. A couple of them, I had done the level 10 life ratings, I think at the beginning of August. It was in my other book, if you recall the last video. So what I did was I went based on my ratings from the last book. At the beginning of September, I did it again. And I did have some things go up. I had a couple of things go down. I think my October level 10 life is going to be unfortunate. Because halfway through the month, I had the depression episode. Some other stuff happened. These are my goals for September. I put a reminder for myself for what my quarter 4 goals are. So these are like my overarching goals. We set those last time I posted a video. And then my main focus for this month is to clean the house and renew my lease. I did renew my lease. I haven't cleaned the house yet though. And then I have my short-term goals for, I set these for the different life areas, the level 10 life areas. I set goals for each of those areas, and I think I might have been a little bit too ambitious there. It's overwhelming to have these 10 goals stuck all together like that. I have these little envelopes here for if I'm successful meeting my goals and if I'm not successful meeting my goals. This isn't a reward and a punishment. At least I don't think I put a punishment. It's basically if I succeed at doing all my goals, I get a big reward. If I don't succeed at doing all my goals, I get basically a consolation prize. You tried. I do have opinions about the participation trophy situation, but I also have specific mental issues that require dopamine hits. And so even if I don't get all of my tasks done, I need to give myself a dopamine boost every once in a while. So that's what this is for. These are my action tasks for the month. This again is a situation of it looks like a lot and it's kind of overwhelming for me. I think that's part of the problem. It's actually not a lot of stuff. It's a lot. It's several very small tasks. But I look at the list and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this today, and it's overwhelming. But I checked off 5 things off it so far, and I still have a week left in the month. I'm recovering from that depressive episode, so I don't know what I will get done and what I won't. But I'm gonna say that I'm hopeful for the rest of this, because like I said, it's small tasks. I could, in theory, get like half of this done at least in a week. We'll see what happens. This was my meal. Oh, this was my meal plan for this month. I set myself a food budget of $300, and let me tell you what, I blew through that. $300 sounds like a lot. But in reality, I am buying food for 2 people every week. Even if I was just doing it like monthly grocery haul, I'm still buying food for 2 people for the month. I meticulously planned out these meals, right? I have them, every single week I stuck to making the meal plan. And not only did I stick to making the meal plan, but I made my grocery lists based on only the meal plan. I have a lot of snacks for this month because most of those, my cat's trying to get in. Most of those snacks are actually for one of the zines that I was working on, so essentially a project that I was being paid to do. I had to get the food for that. And I don't know, maybe that cut into my budget more than I expected it to. But, wow, she really wants in. No, kitty, not right now. Maybe that cut into my budget more than I expected it to. But oh my goodness. But at the same time, I feel like it shouldn't have. You know, I'm trying to make it so that the other person that I shop for is my uncle. I live with him. And right now, because I'm in between jobs, he's handling all the bills. So I want to make sure that I'm, pulling my share, and my share is the housework and cooking. And he pays, he pays the bills, and he's supposed to do the lawn work. But trying to keep us decently fed is a lot more expensive than you would think. The weird thing is that I'm only spending, I wrote it down here, and I need to write down the last 2 weeks of what I spent. But for the first week, I spent almost $200 on food. That was because we were super low on everything. For week 2, I only spent $89 on food because we were doing pretty good. Week 3, I think I spent somewhere around $120. And then this last week, I spent somewhere around, it would have been $100, but it was $120 because I also had to buy cat food. So $200, $90, $120, $100. Essentially, we're going between 60 and $80-ish per person per week. Sometimes we get lucky and the food at the grocery store is on sale, and sometimes we don't, and I have to pay, $20 for a pound of meat. Usually those weeks I just try to cut back on the meat, but even the vegetables, the fruits, anything fresh is just so expensive. It's ridiculous. So, and especially we're getting into, we're getting into harvest season. So I'm kind of hoping that we're going to see a dip in the cost of things. I'm going to try and stick to seasonal shopping as much as possible and see how that affects the bottom line. But $300 was way, way low for my budget. Since I'm between jobs and I'm struggling to find another job, I am gonna see if, excuse me. I lost track of what I was saying. I had to cut. Since I'm between jobs right now and I'm struggling really hard to get another steady one. Words are hard right now. I think that I might try to apply for food stamps. I'm hesitant about it because the state that I live in is very, very strict about food stamps requirements. Like, much more strict than a lot of other states that I've lived in. So, I probably won't get them. I probably don't qualify at the moment. I'll see what I can do, though, just so that I can kind of keep us on our feet while I'm still searching for a new job or hoping for this, content creation thing to take off. I know better than to expect content creation to pay my bills, though, at least this early on. we'll see what happens. Here I have my dailies. These, it's pretty similar to the habit tracker idea. It's my daily tasks. Um, I'm not calling it a habit tracker because it's not necessarily habits. It's literally like my daily to-do list. Things that I should be doing every day. Or close to every day. I haven't been very consistent with either tracking it or doing it. Some of the tasks on here are weekly tasks. Some of the tasks are daily tasks, and some of them are just do them whenever you feel like it tasks, like coffee. I'm not gonna like require myself to have coffee every day. I like the concept of it, so I am gonna carry it over into October. I'm not gonna call it dailies. I'm just gonna call it like repeat tasks or something like that. That way I don't feel so pressured to do every single one every single day. Some of them are supposed to be every day, but not all of them. This was my budget for the month. I got one final check from my partner. One final piece of income from my partner for this month that fed into my budget for this month. I was able to pay for everything that I needed to pay for this month. It was something that she set up for me so that I would be able to have time after she passed before everything, was crushing down on me. And, I love her so much for making sure that I would have that. But this month was the last payment that I got. So I really gotta get some more income coming in there. This was my food inventory on the last day of August, or the second to last day of August, and my to-do for getting ready for September. And then I got into daily task lists. It's very similar to what I was doing in the content creation book, and even for my everyday, essentially my everyday journal. I don't think that it works for me. I don't think the system works. I have to think about a new way to do this. So, just like for my work journal, I did mark with the silk bookmarks where my monthly breakups were going to be. And just like for my content creation journal, I didn't quite make it. So I'll have these next 2 pages for the end of September, and then we'll go ahead and mark the start of October with a little dot, just like we did in the other book. So from there, let's go to the back of the book. This is my Q4 collections. These are things that I'm tracking across the next 3 months. As opposed to having them just be like monthly tasks. I had a lot of fun making this page, actually. But I have this one. This is where I did my, essentially my future log. But for my everyday journal, I included December. So I have all of my Q4, and then I included December as sort of like preparing myself for going into December. Here's my Q4 goals. I haven't really done anything on any of the 3 goals yet. I'm still figuring out my system. You know what I mean? Um, I have 25 things to do by 2025. It's basically a little bingo board. I've got 2 things on here already that I marked off. One was to bring my partner's ashes home because we were having so much trouble with that, and the other was to update my Discord server for it's my fandom Discord server. And then I just have a bunch of other things. Some of them are I'm pretty much guaranteed to do them, like attending my family's Thanksgiving and Christmas celebrations. I have my work goals on here. Well, not my work goals, but I have 2 work goals on here. Things that I want to do, like go to the Georgia Aquarium, have a picnic, go apple picking, just little fun things mostly. And then I have this is 25 25s by 2025. And this is just 25 things that I want to do 25 times before the end of the year. As you can see, I have barely started. And then for the 25 25s, I've broken down the next few pages into what or when, just details on each of those things. It was just a fun little idea that I saw on Joshie Corinne's channel that I wanted to try out for myself. Still too soon to decide if I want to do it again for next quarter. We'll find out. I have my long-term tasks, which are basically one-offs. As I do them, I'll check them off and they'll be done. I have my monthly tasks, which I don't check off because they have to be done every month. Basically, I just use this as when I'm planning out my month. These are things that are going to go into the monthly plan. Weekly tasks, same thing. I don't check them off here. I just refer back to this when I'm making my weekly plan. And daily tasks. And then I have my quarterly reset, which I am overdue for. The quarterly reset, my plan is to do it on the equinox or the solstice. The autumn equinox was last weekend, or this past weekend. So I still have to do, it's only 4 tasks, but I still have to do it. I have a savings goal tracker. I gotta change one of those, one of these little slots. This, once again, I liked having in my black book, I liked having that collection of the zines that I participated in for the year. So I decided to go ahead and go back and redo that in this book. A little bit differently. So I think that I like doing it this way better, where everything is, this would be the covers. When I print them out, this will be the covers, and then the details, and then the covers and the details. I like that better than having it kind of go back and forth on the page. This is my personal projects list, which is in part for content creation, but it's mostly just like, these are major projects that I just want to do. And some of them, like the art and the crafts projects, I can use for content creation. The writing one is, I post all of my writing on AO3, so these are just major stories that I'm working on. Yes, I am working on that many all at once. And then my craft supply list. This is a list of, it's not a list of supplies that I have, and it's not a shopping list. It's essentially the supplies that I want to keep in stock as much as possible. That's what that is. And I do have quite a lot of them currently in stock. These are my holidays. I didn't write anything down for the autumn equinox, so I can't think of what my intention was for this page, because I think this was just supposed to be a brief overview of each of the holidays, because moving forward I have these spreads for each of the holidays. So I have for the autumn equinox, I have my decorations list, the recipes that I want to try, which I can actually, since the equinox is over, I still need to make pumpkin bread. I have the stuff for it, I just didn't make it. I did make the apple coffee cake and the pumpkin spice latte. I didn't do the apple cider or the chicken with maple sauce or the autumn salad. The thing is that I have tried those before. I know that they're good. I couldn't work it into the food budget, unfortunately. And then this is my celebration prep plans and ideas. I didn't really do any of these. I mean, obviously there's still time to do all of these, but I didn't do any of them. And then this is a section for photos. So I did take a couple of photos that I'm going to post in here later. This is my Halloween spread. Not quite done yet, but it's going to have a very similar, decorations, recipes, and how I plan to celebrate, and then a photo section. The pages for Thanksgiving and Christmas are different because I celebrate the equinox and Halloween by myself. I celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas with my family. So for Thanksgiving, I have this cute little envelope here, and I put in a little a fake invitation, which I'm gonna have to blur out because it has my address on it. But I put in this little fake invitation of join us for the Thanksgiving feast or whatever. And then over here, I'm gonna have my shopping list. Well, I think this year this is probably just gonna be like a mock-up. At the beginning of the year, we were planning to have the family at our house for Thanksgiving because the family member that usually hosts the dinners has been feeling the stress of it recently. And so for this year, the family was saying that we needed to plan to go somewhere else. And our house is a good place for it. And we had planned for that. And then my partner passed away. And I haven't gotten anywhere near getting the house cleaned enough to be able to host people. So it's not going to happen. So I think for this year, this is just going to be a mock-up and something that I can use possibly for next year. It depends on how good of a job I get because my lease for next year, the rent went up about $200, and my lease will end at the beginning of November in 2025. So I don't even know if we'll be here for Thanksgiving next year. Who knows? I made a little spread for myself for photos because we always take photos at the family gatherings. And then for Christmas, this little envelope has a little page in it for me to write my Christmas list. It's mostly just for fun. And then, although I will be going to a different family member's house for Christmas, I love to decorate for the winter holidays. So I have a page to plan out for decoration. And then this has to be redone. This is going to be my photo page for Christmas. And then here I have a sketch for a house cleaning list. We'll work on that. These are my meals we love and meals to try pages. And then this next couple pages, I am working on my plans for the various rooms in my house for decoration. So that is everything that I have to share that I did for September. We are already looking at a very long video, even after I cut. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll keep recording, and I'm going to do the October plan, but you won't actually see my October plan until next week. And that actually, that works out for me because that will give me time to plan what I'm going to do for future videos. So, like I said, I don't want to make this, a planner channel, but planning is a big part of what I do, so it's going to get included. What I'm thinking is that it'll be like this, at the end of every month, I'll have a look back at everything that was planned and everything that was accomplished for the month. And then I'll have a second video for planning for the coming month. And then that will still leave me 2 or 3 weeks every month to do other videos. Trying to do one every week was a little too ambitious for me, but I really do want to have that schedule. It's just a matter of kind of figuring it out. So I'm gonna cut off here for this week. So you'll be seeing this. Let's see. Oh, right. There we go. Okay. So today is the 24th. You'll be seeing this video fully edited on the 27th. And then I think what I'll do is, because I don't want to make it too long, so I think what I'll do, since I'm going to go right into recording for the October planning, I think I'll just go ahead and post the October planning on the 30th. And that way it kind of goes into October. And I'll still have the rest of this week and all of next week to record and edit for another video on the 4th. And so with the next video, the one that comes out on the 30th, you'll get to see my plan for October, and I'll also talk about what sort of other videos I plan to do. And we'll kind of go from there and figure it out. So, thank you all for watching. It was lovely to see you again after several weeks away. I hope that it was lovely for you to see me. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.